Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about something called an ID. On the screen, you can see the following structure of the page. We've got a heading and two paragraphs. Also on the right side of the screen, we've got the CSS code, which tells our heading to be blue and uppercase. Good, so we've got that cleared up. So we know that if we want to, let's say, make the first paragraph black and bold, we simply need to add a class. For example, we can name the class Special. So in CSS, we just write color black. This makes our text black. Then we add font weight bold, and now our text is also bold. So you already know this pretty well, but sometimes you'll see the following. A number sign like a dash right before a word in CSS, and in HTML, you see ID instead of the word class. This thing is called an ID. You mostly use an ID for the same reasons you use a class. You use it when you want to make changes to specific elements. But here we have the number sign instead of a dot, and ID instead of the word class. So there must be some difference, right? The key difference between ID and class is you can use the same ID only once on a web page. So, in other words, in our example, we can only have one ID with the name Special on a web page. On the other hand, if it's a class with the name Special, that means that the class can be used on the page as many times as you want, and not just for one type of tag, but for any tag. And then, in CSS, you can refer to all of them. So you can apply ID to an element that's unique on the page, for example the main menu, and that way, when you see ID in the code, you know it's a unique element. So let's open the text editor now. We can see the HTML code with one heading and two p tags. In CSS, for all p tags, we have font size 20 pixels. This is what it looks like in the browser. Now let's write ID main heading for the h1 tag. Why are we doing this for the h1 tag? Because there should be only one h1 tag on the page. Please note though that ID, when you're talking about a class, is written before the closing angle bracket. Okay, so anyways, then in CSS we're going to write the number sign, then the ID name, main heading in our case, and then we just add the styles that we want. For example, color red. Let's save it and see what it looks like in the browser. As you can see, it works the same as it would with a class. Another way to use this ID thing is with the help of anchors. By the way, this is actually a more popular use of ID than the first example. So, what are anchors? An anchor is a link that doesn't lead to another page, but to a place on the current page. Let's open the website ebay.com. And if we scroll down our web page, we will see that here on the right, we have an arrow. So in fact, this arrow pointing to the top is just a link that leads us to the top of the web page. We just click it, and now we're at the top of the page. Let's make something similar on our web page so that we can navigate within our web page. To do this, we need to add some more content that the scroll will appear. How can we do it? Let's copy this and paste it a couple of times. And let's also increase the font size from 20 to 24. And let's check what we've got. Now you see that the scroll has appeared. So everything is working perfectly. Now, to create an anchor, we first need to create a link. So let's make a link at the bottom of the web page with the text back to top. So how can we turn an ordinary link into an anchor link? In href, we need to write number sign, and that means it will be ID. and then the name of the ID. For example, main heading. So that means if we click on the link with the ID main heading, the page will scroll up to the block that has the ID main heading. Let's check how it works. Refresh the page, and we see at the bottom of the web page the link with the text back to top. We click this link, and we have been redirected back to the top of the page. So now you know how anchor links work. That's it. See you in the following video.